Ladies, let's talk. There's this myth floating around that in order to get a man to like you, you have to be endlessly nice. That if you give him everything he wants, he'll appreciate it. Well, let me tell you, that's a lie. Being nice is great, being thoughtful is wonderful, but being too nice, it gets you nowhere. You're not here to serve someone else's needs at the expense of your own. You don't have to be a doormat just so a man will take you seriously. If you're always nice, always accommodating, and never standing up for yourself, how can you expect someone to respect you for who you really are? When we talk about people-pleasing, we're touching on a habit that many of us, especially women, can fall into without even realizing it. It's something that's often ingrained in us from a young age. We are raised to be kind, polite, considerate of others' feelings, and to do things that will keep the peace. While these are admirable qualities in certain situations, they can also lead to a dangerous pattern of behavior when taken to extremes. People-pleasing often manifests itself in many forms. Constantly saying yes when you really want to say no. Going along with things that don't feel right just because you don't want to disappoint someone, or sacrificing your own happiness and comfort to make others happy. In the context of relationships, this becomes especially problematic when women feel the pressure to be constantly accommodating to men, believing that being overly nice is the way to secure their affection and maintain their interests. It's as though we're taught that our worth is tied to how much we give, how much we do, and how much we're willing to put others before ourselves. But here's the issue. People-pleasing never works in the long term. It may seem like a quick fix in the beginning. Maybe you win someone's approval or keep the peace in a relationship, but over time, it erodes your self-worth. Constantly putting others first leads to resentment, burnout, and ultimately a loss of your sense of self. When you are always concerned with making sure that everyone else is happy, you lose sight of your own happiness. And when that happens, you begin to lose respect for yourself. It's important to understand that true love and healthy relationships are not about what you can do for someone else. They are about mutual respect, understanding, and a balance of needs. When you give too much, when you say yes to everything, when you allow others to take advantage of your kindness, you send a message that your needs aren't as important as theirs. And over time, that message gets reinforced in the relationship. The more you give, the more the other person takes, often without realizing it. Eventually, what you end up with is an unbalanced dynamic where your needs, desires, and feelings are no longer prioritized. One of the most insidious aspects of people-pleasing is how it can affect your self-esteem. As you continue to put others first and abandon your own desires, you begin to internalize the belief that your value is only based on what you can do for someone else. This pattern sets up a dangerous precedent where you may start to feel unworthy of love and respect unless you're constantly in service to someone else's needs. But here's the harsh truth. A relationship built on that foundation is not built on love. It's built on obligation, imbalance, and insecurity. In the beginning stages of dating, women might fall into the trap of trying to please men because they want to be seen as worthy of their attention and affection. But this isn't real love. This is transactional. If you find yourself always asking, what can I do for him, or what does he need from me, without considering your own needs, you're setting yourself up for failure. Love should be about two people coming together with mutual respect, not about one person constantly giving and the other constantly taking. The truth is, men who are truly worth your time will not expect you to be endlessly accommodating, and they certainly won't take advantage of your kindness. They will appreciate you for who you are, not just for what you do for them. They will respect your boundaries and will understand that you have your own life, your own goals, and your own needs. In fact, a healthy relationship thrives on two people having their own separate identities and lives outside of the relationship. When you are constantly pleasing your partner, you lose your own identity in the process. And when that happens, not only are you compromising yourself, but you're also compromising the relationship. Another issue with people-pleasing is that it often leads to miscommunication. When you're always trying to keep the peace or avoid confrontation, you might suppress your true feelings. You might let things slide when something bothers you because you don't want to rock the boat. But here's the thing. Relationships thrive on open and honest communication. When you don't express your thoughts, needs, and desires, you can't expect your partner to know them. And when you keep suppressing your feelings, resentment builds up. Over time, that resentment will erode the connection between you and your partner, making it harder to communicate openly or even feel close to one another. Let's be clear about something. Saying no is not the same thing as being rude or unkind. Setting boundaries is an essential part of a healthy relationship. When you fail to set boundaries, you fail to protect your emotional and physical well-being. And when you fail to protect your own well-being, you're essentially teaching others that you're not worth taking care of. But when you learn to say no and stand firm in your boundaries, you teach the other person that you are someone who respects yourself, and in turn, you will earn their respect. It's not about being mean or selfish. It's about being honest and recognizing that your needs are just as important as anyone else's. When you put yourself first, you're not only taking care of yourself, but you're also showing the other person how to treat you. You're setting a standard for what kind of behavior you will tolerate in a relationship. And when you stop people-pleasing, you open up the space for a relationship based on mutual respect where both partners are free to be their authentic selves. It's a hard lesson to learn, especially in a society that often rewards self-sacrifice, especially when it comes to women. We are often taught that being selfless is the ideal, that we should always give without expecting anything in return. But that mindset can be incredibly damaging, both to our sense of self-worth and to our relationships. You deserve to be loved and respected for who you are, not for how much you're willing to give up for someone else. People-pleasing can also be a form of insecurity. Often it comes from the fear of rejection. We fear that if we don't do everything to please someone, they'll walk away. But the truth is, if someone leaves because you stand up for yourself or set boundaries, then they weren't the right person for you in the first place. You should never feel like you have to lose yourself to keep someone else. The right person will appreciate your strength, your honesty, and your ability to stand your ground. They won't walk away because you chose to take care of yourself first. People-pleasing is an emotional trap. It's a trap that keeps you from being your true self. It keeps you from setting healthy boundaries. It keeps you from forming relationships based on mutual respect and understanding. And it keeps you from experiencing the kind of love and affection that's rooted in equality and balance. So it's time to stop. It's time to recognize that you deserve more than just being nice. You deserve to be loved for who you are, not just for what you do. It's time to stop sacrificing your happiness to make someone else happy, because at the end of the day, your happiness matters too. Self-respect is the cornerstone of any healthy relationship, yet many people, especially women, struggle to maintain it when navigating the complexities of dating and relationships. The concept of self-respect can often feel abstract or intangible, something that is hard to measure or define. But in reality, self-respect is essential to not only maintaining your own mental and emotional well-being, but also fostering a relationship built on equality, understanding, and mutual appreciation. When we talk about self-respect, we're not just talking about recognizing your worth and taking care of yourself physically, mentally, and emotionally. It goes much deeper than that. Self-respect is the ability to hold firm to your values and beliefs, to honor your boundaries, and to make decisions that prioritize your own well-being, even when others around you might not understand or agree with those decisions. It means recognizing your own needs as just as important as anyone else's and refusing to settle for less than you deserve, whether that be in your career, friendships, or most importantly, in your relationships with men. In the context of dating and romantic relationships, self-respect manifests in various ways. The first step toward maintaining self-respect is to recognize your own worth. In a society that often tells women that they must be perfect in order to be worthy of love or attention, It can be incredibly easy to forget that your value isn't contingent on someone else's approval. Many women, especially those who are insecure or have experienced rejection, can fall into the trap of thinking that they are only as valuable as how much someone else desires them. They internalize the idea that love is something to be earned or achieved through constant sacrifice, pleasing others, or doing what is expected of them. But the truth is, your worth has already been established. You don't have to earn love, respect, or kindness. You are deserving of all those things simply because you exist. Self-respect means recognizing that you do not need to bend yourself out of shape to fit into someone else's idea of who you should be. In dating, this often looks like resisting the urge to conform to what you think a man wants or expects from you. When you compromise your values, desires, or boundaries in order to keep a man interested, you are telling yourself that your own needs don't matter. You are sending the message that you will settle for less than you deserve, and in the process, you lose a piece of yourself. True self-respect requires you to honor your beliefs, to act in alignment with your values, and to be unapologetically yourself. But self-respect goes beyond just honoring your values. It also involves setting clear and firm boundaries. Boundaries are the invisible lines that protect you emotionally, mentally, and physically. They are the standards you set for how you want to be treated and how you will treat others. Without boundaries, relationships become unhealthy and people can take advantage of you without ever realizing it. Boundaries are not about pushing people away. They are about creating a space where you and your partner can exist as equals, each respecting each other's needs and limits. Setting boundaries can be difficult, especially in a relationship where you feel a sense of vulnerability or fear of rejection. Many people, especially women, are often conditioned to be overly accommodating, to say yes to things they don't want to do, or to ignore their own feelings in order to avoid conflict. But when you constantly push your own needs aside to keep the peace or please your partner, you are compromising your own emotional and mental health. This is where self-respect becomes crucial. When you respect yourself, you understand that it is okay to say no, to speak up when something feels wrong, and to ask for what you need without fear of judgment or rejection. Being able to set boundaries is not about being rigid or unyielding. It's about protecting your peace and ensuring that you are in a relationship that honors who you are as a person. A healthy relationship is not one where one partner constantly gives while the other takes. It's a partnership where both people are able to express themselves, communicate openly, and respect one another's limits. Boundaries are a reflection of your self-respect because they demonstrate that you value your own needs just as much as you value your partner's. When you fail to set boundaries or respect your own, you're essentially saying that your needs don't matter, which is a disservice to yourself. Another critical aspect of self-respect in relationships is the ability to walk away from situations that are not serving you. Too often people, again, especially women, feel trapped in relationships where they are not valued, where they are treated poorly, or where they constantly have to compromise themselves to make the relationship work. Walking away from a relationship is never easy, especially if there is an emotional attachment or fear of being alone. But when you respect yourself, you realize that staying in a relationship where you are not treated well or where your needs are consistently ignored is far worse than being alone. Self-respect means understanding that you don't need to settle for someone who does not see your worth. If a man treats you poorly, if he doesn't prioritize you, or if he takes you for granted, you are not obligated to stay in that relationship. In fact, staying in a relationship that doesn't value you is a form of self-sabotage. It tells the world that you believe you deserve to be treated poorly, but when you respect yourself, you realize that you deserve to be in a relationship where you are valued, loved, and treated with kindness and respect. And if someone cannot offer that, you know that you are better off on your own, waiting for the right person who will honor you as you deserve. This idea of walking away ties into another important element of self-respect, being able to recognize when a relationship is unhealthy or no longer serving your best interests. It is not always easy to discern when it's time to let go, especially if you've invested time and energy into a relationship. But self-respect requires the courage to make tough decisions, even when it's difficult. It means being able to look at your relationship objectively and acknowledging whether it is contributing to your growth and happiness or whether it is holding you back, draining you, or diminishing your sense of self. A major aspect of self-respect is knowing when to stand your ground, even when others might try to push you into doing something that feels wrong or uncomfortable. In romantic relationships, this can come up in many forms, whether it's pressure to act a certain way, do something you're not ready for, or even stay in a relationship that's not healthy. It takes strength to say no, to express your desires, and to make decisions that put your well-being first. And when you make those decisions, even when they're hard, you reinforce your self-respect and send a clear message to your partner and to yourself that you will not tolerate anything less than what you deserve. Being in a relationship where both partners respect each other creates a foundation for mutual growth and understanding. When you respect yourself, you are not afraid to communicate openly, to be vulnerable, and to ask for what you need. Self-respect doesn't mean shutting down your emotions or pretending that everything is always okay. Instead, it's about being true to yourself, expressing your feelings honestly, and understanding that you are worthy of love, support, and care just as much as anyone else. Ultimately, self-respect is about understanding your own value and knowing that you deserve to be treated with kindness, compassion, and care. It is about standing firm in your beliefs, maintaining your boundaries, and being unapologetic about your needs. When you respect yourself, you are not only sending a message to the world about how you want to be treated, but you are also cultivating a deep sense of self-worth that will guide you through every relationship and every interaction. Self-respect isn't about being perfect. It's about knowing that you are deserving of the best and not settling for anything less. Expectations play a pivotal role in relationships, especially romantic ones, but they are often misunderstood or misapplied. Many people approach relationships with a set of preconceived ideas about how their partner should behave, what they should give, and how the relationship should evolve. These expectations can create a foundation for disappointment, resentment, and misunderstandings if they are unrealistic or if they aren't communicated clearly. In any healthy relationship, it is crucial to not only set but also understand and manage expectations in a way that fosters mutual respect and growth. When we talk about expectations, it is important to acknowledge that they are not inherently bad. In fact, having expectations can be a good thing. They allow individuals to define their needs, desires, and boundaries. They can guide people in identifying what they truly want in a partner and what they are not willing to tolerate. However, the issue arises when expectations become rigid, unrealistic, or uncommunicated. Often people enter relationships with a certain idea of how things should unfold, but they may not take the time to communicate these expectations clearly with their partner. As a result, one person may be unaware what the other person needs or wants, leading to a misalignment in desires and ultimately creating tension or disappointment. One of the most significant pitfalls in relationships is when one partner expects the other to fulfill all of their emotional needs. This often stems from a romanticized view of relationships, where the idea of the one or soulmate leads individuals to believe that their partner should meet all their needs, whether emotional, intellectual, or physical. While it is natural for couples to want to share their lives with one another and support each other, it is unrealistic to expect one person to be everything. Expecting a partner to be your emotional anchor, best friend, therapist, and support system all at once can place an enormous burden on both individuals, and it is often rooted in insecurity or unrealistic ideals. No one can fully satisfy every emotional need, and trying to put that expectation on a partner could create an unbalanced relationship where both individuals feel overwhelmed and underappreciated. Instead of placing the weight of all your emotional needs on your partner, it is important to recognize that you too have responsibilities in maintaining your own emotional well-being. Building a strong sense of self, developing personal coping strategies, and having a solid support system outside of the relationship are all key factors in ensuring that you are not relying on your partner to fix you or complete you. This doesn't mean that you should not lean on your partner for support, but it does mean that you should also be responsible for nurturing your own happiness and emotional health. Having healthy expectations around emotional support can help avoid resentment in relationships and ensure that both partners feel appreciated and understood for who they are, not just for what they can provide for each other. Another common pitfall in relationships is the expectation that a partner should always agree with you or support all your choices. While it's natural to want to be understood and supported by the person you love, it's important to recognize that no one is going to agree with you on everything all the time. Healthy relationships are built on respect for each other's differences. Disagreements and differences of opinion are inevitable, but they don't need to create conflict if both individuals approach them with respect, understanding, and an open mind. When expectations are set that a partner should always align with your views, this can stifle personal growth, lead to unnecessary conflict, and ultimately create an unhealthy power dynamic. Furthermore, when one person expects their partner to always agree or comply with their desires, it undermines the ability to form a relationship that is grounded in mutual respect. Healthy relationships require compromise, open communication, and the ability to work through disagreements in a way that doesn't erode trust or mutual appreciation. Expecting your partner to always see things your way may lead them to feel stifled or unimportant, which can breed resentment over time. The key to navigating differing opinions is understanding that it's okay to disagree, and in fact, those disagreements can lead to deeper understanding and stronger connections if approached with empathy and respect. There is also the matter of expectations around timing in a relationship. People often come into relationships with preconceived notions about how quickly things should progress, how soon they should be exclusive, when they should meet each other's families, or when a serious commitment like marriage should happen. These expectations are often shaped by personal experiences, cultural influences, or societal pressures. However, everyone moves at their own pace, and it's important to recognize that a healthy relationship cannot be rushed. Some people may feel comfortable committing right away, while others may need more time to build trust and emotional intimacy. The most important aspect of timing in relationships is open communication and mutual respect. Both partners should feel comfortable expressing where they are in terms of commitment and what they are looking for from the relationship. Unrealistic expectations about timing can cause unnecessary pressure on both partners and lead to anxiety or confusion about the future. It's crucial to have ongoing conversations about where the relationship stands and where both individuals see it going. However, these conversations should come from a place of mutual understanding rather than trying to meet some external expectation of what should be happening by a certain point in the relationship. When partners understand and respect each other's pace, the relationship has a better chance of flourishing organically, free from the stress of constantly trying to meet deadlines that may not even align with their desires or needs. In addition, many people enter relationships with expectations about how their partner should behave in certain situations, such as how they should express love, how often they should communicate, or how they should handle disagreements. These expectations are often influenced by past experiences, family dynamics, or cultural beliefs. However, it's important to recognize that everyone has their own unique way of expressing affection, communicating, and dealing with conflict. Expecting someone to act in a way that aligns perfectly with your own preferences or beliefs can create unnecessary tension and disappointment. Acknowledging and appreciating your partner's unique way of expressing love, offering support, or dealing with challenges is key to developing a deeper connection and understanding. Rather than imposing expectations on your partner, It's better to have open conversations about each other's needs and find ways to meet in the middle. Finally, expectations around the level of effort and contributions in a relationship can be another source of conflict if they are not communicated effectively. It's common to expect a partner to contribute equally in terms of household responsibilities, emotional labor, or financial contributions. But these expectations should be discussed openly and agreed upon by both parties. Relationships are a partnership, and for them to be successful, both individuals must feel that they are contributing in a way that is fair and balanced. This doesn't necessarily mean an equal split of every responsibility, but rather that both partners feel valued for the effort they put into the relationship. Misaligned expectations around effort can lead to resentment, as one partner may feel that they are carrying an unfair burden or that their contributions are not being recognized. The key to managing expectations is communication. Open, honest, and respectful conversations about what each partner needs, wants, and values can help ensure that expectations are aligned and realistic. It's also important to be flexible and adaptable. People change and relationships evolve, so the expectations that may have been valid early in a relationship might need to be adjusted as time goes on. Healthy relationships thrive on compromise, empathy, and mutual understanding. When both partners are willing to communicate openly about their expectations and respect each other's boundaries, the foundation for a fulfilling and long-lasting relationship is established. Setting healthy expectations is about understanding that relationships require work, communication, and mutual respect. It's about knowing that no one is perfect and that both partners will have their flaws. Having realistic expectations allows both individuals to grow together and form a deep supportive bond that is based on understanding, compromise, and genuine care for one another. Rather than demanding perfection or attempting to mold your partner into an ideal version of what you want, embrace the uniqueness of your relationship and create an environment where both people can feel heard, valued, and loved. Healthy expectations can turn potential sources of conflict into opportunities for growth and connection.